I'm here with my youngest sunshine buddy, and I really am getting to just connect out with you all. And we got like a ton of questions, like a ton. So thank you. And we chose a few. Well, I didn't. I think you and someone else went through, picked out some
the best ones.
Questions. Yeah, or ones that maybe seem to speak to more epic proportions. Never before anything like this in any of our lifetimes. And so I think I want to acknowledge the space, the environment that we're all existing inside of right now, and all that are rising up collectively and then individually. So I am very grateful to the people that are out there on the front lines, risking their lives, standing for the lives of others, and the bravery, the courage, the commitment, the honor to get to share this air on planet Earth with you all is really phenomenal. So thank you for being examples of what it is to be the best in humanity. All right, so should we want to start some questions?
Yeah, so the first two questions are kind of similar, and they're around the fear of teaching. And the first part is from Megan. She asked, there's been fear around inviting everyone I know to my online live yoga classes. All types of fear around not being good enough or people thinking I'm not genuine. How do I get over this fear? And then similar question asked by Karen is, I want to help others and be for them during this time of uncertainty. I'd like to offer them classes virtually, but I am stuck in my fear of what others will think of me, how I will be judged, whether or not I will be good enough. How do I just freaking let that go so I can be for others?
Yeah, it's good. It's good, man. It's what we all deal with. Not enough of something, hear what's right up in front of us. We're all being confronted with, I'll point to like one of the laws in my book, 40 Days of Personal Revolution, is, step out of your comfort zone. And if there's looking for the silver lining here, looking for the opportunity in this situation, inside a comfort zone, like there's a kind of loss of control we all have in this situation, right? And so here's the opportunity to step in front of them. They might think terrible things, they might judge you, all of that. Find a way to shut out that noise, getting on the mat, sitting, getting quiet, doing, being in the doing of it, what you want to do. The actioning of it has a way of shutting out the noise, the chatty there, the thoughts in your head. And then if other people are, you're in an environment where you're getting negative kind of input from people you're not ready to teach, who are you to teach, like all that, let them be, let that be. The other opportunity here is to convert like that, what was like, I'm not good enough. Convert that into fuel. Like, oh yeah, okay, well, watch. For years I had such a driving, like in the background, I'm not good enough, or I'm not smart enough, or I don't do anything right, or like that. But I actually use that as a kind of fuel to prove, mostly now in hindsight, to myself that I was enough, or that I could do it or get it right, or I could figure stuff out, and convert it to fuel. And really, like, if not now, the mirror, like, because at the end of the day, we're just competing with ourselves. Like, I know if I'm stopped by something, like to get my voice out there, to do certain things that are new and scary, it's like, really, that's kind of between me and me. That makes sense to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you see about that? Anything come to your mind?
Just like give up being in your head, because everybody has that, and I think people see the most of you and people are attracted to you when you're not in your head and you're just being yourself out there.
Wow. Yeah, I got that. Wow, it's good stuff right there. Yeah. Get out of the head and get out here. And yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Just do the thing and you'll have the power. Yeah.
So
wait, one last thing. You know, when you just do the thing, you get in front of it, you get out of your head, get in front of it, and success, a pattern of success. And each time you're a little bit successful, it's like that builds confidence, that boosts your sense of self-esteem. And then you keep doing it. And it comes with you get more seasoned over time, more experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
You know, you said something like that to me. I remember because you started teaching where you live in San Luis Obispo.
Yeah.
And I remember you like did the teacher course with Leandra. And after that, you were like driving home from like, where was it, Santa Cruz or Monterey, California.
Yeah, Monterey.
And you're driving, you called me, you go, Dad, like I see like I have all the tools I need. I have the knowledge to teach, like Journey to Power. And what I need to do now is just do it.
Just do it.
Remember that you called me and said that to me?
Yeah, definitely. And what I've learned from like the first yoga classes that I taught is that like people are coming to take my class, not my idea of a yoga teacher. Like I should be putting out.
They don't like you for being you, then let them go find somewhere else, someone else that is a better fit.
Yeah,
I love that. See, I know itself be true. Good. Okay.
This question: real and practical tips for helping ourselves and others.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, it's a good question, and I don't know that there's one answer. It's like really, it's probably what does it mean to be a powerful leader in current events? Would be to be the community, locally, globally, be present to what is actually happening toward a higher possibility, then that's going to happen moment to moment. It's like the word I love around that is potentia. It's like potentia is in the present moment, the rising moment. There's an opportunity to be, who you need to be in that moment, in that situation, or for that person. It's not a fixed thing. I wouldn't say there's like some certain way a leader should look right now. We're living in a time of epic uncertainty. Uncertainty is really reality of life all of the time with this pandemic or not. Does that make sense? Like we're living, like life's changing. Like Thoreau said, the only thing that never stops changing is change. It's like life is constantly changing. We're living in uncertainty. We're living in an uncertainty. Like, I don't know when my time is to go. None of us really know exactly when our time is. Life is so random. And because just even like yesterday, Malachi and with his brother Jake, we took a hike up here in the mountains, and we saw your old best friend from childhood, Sam Jackenthal. That memorial is a bench that we hiked up to this mountain ridge, right? And the bench is up there, and this whole dedication and in honor of Sam's life, right? And it was like Sam was how old when he had a skiing accident in Australia, a half pipe, and he's just doing a jump and hit his head and went into coma, and totally unpredictable, totally like can't plan for like that. But I was kind of, as we were there yesterday, and I could see like you were really kind of moved and touched just being there, like wow, like. And that was totally no one expected that, like, and life's like that. And though we don't know what's going to be happening, there's uncertainty, and it's good to get flat about that. I just accept that. Yeah. Life in actuality is always uncertain. And now collectively we're being confronted by that. But and then was it Nancy asked for like, what are some tips ourselves and others? Like give people space and room to be in their humanity. It's a stressful time for people. People are, as you all dealing with it. Fear and reaction, watch the news, uncertainty, the economic impact that people are confronting all over the place, people having to make really tough decisions. So it lives in the way you listen. People have eyes and they don't see, they have ears and they don't hear. And there's something about really getting in the other person's world or in people's world, like the whole world of what they're experiencing. It's whatever's right is what's right here for you, to be with that, to allow for that. And we're getting some cool comments. Ali, hey you guys, we appreciate you too. Nancy, hello from Indy, awesome. Rachel DeLong is here, yes she is. Can you read those? Speak sideways.
Yeah.
Hey you all. Welcome. Be of a new kind of listening. Look, as a leader, here's the opportunity to confront your own constraints, like where you are stopped as a leader, an opportunity to look, listen, and then graciously give tools, not forcing or imposing anything on people, but like give tools. Kind of like with you and your brother, we've been in this shut down at home for 2 weeks. Right? Yeah. I remember it was the second or third day, I was like, okay, you all, I'm committed to getting through this and to the other side of this whole experience, expanded, having grown, having developed myself to come out stronger, more clarity, updated, and myself and who I am for others, starting with you all in the world. Working out, exercising, yoga practice, meditating, being in a kind of powerful self-inquiry. Remember I was saying that to you and Jake, and I was like, look, I did that. Yeah. And man, these dudes are working out. They're in the garage, training, working out. We've been hiking. Yeah. At least every other day. They've been cooking amazing meals, clean, healthy food. Not a lot of Netflix. We've been watching a good movie, inspirational movies, some historic movies. Gandhi's up on the list next.
Yeah.
And okay, getting off track here. What else?
Lisa asked, does leadership fundamentally need to shift or change during periods like this, and how? Yeah, I think leadership does have to shift. And the answer to how is be in the now. And the answer to how is be a yes. So you're a yes for what is what you'd want to get clear for yourself. Yes for being, the most powerful leader. And, get clear. Maybe write it out. Get clear. Write it out and then share it with other people who have that kind of listening or relationship with you. But the kind of leader you want to be, and being a leader that is given by the times, given by the moment we're living in, given by the environment, the answer how to be a leader or what's in now is now. The answer to how is now. If you're really present in now, you'll see and you'll hear for what's needed, and it'll give you what you both have to then confront in yourself, perhaps. And then to push through that to provide that kind of leading or stewarding service to others, something like that. You have anything about that? About how it needs to shift or change during periods like this.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, a different type of leadership because you're not with people in real time, and I think leadership now is more with your family, and leadership starts first with yourself and leading yourself into a better version on the other side of this, because you could just be on the couch all day, or you could be leading yourself into working out, building relationships with your family members because I'm not home most of the time, and this is an opportunity for us to get closer and just come out on the other side better. And if you start leading with yourself, others will follow.
Yeah.
and you'll motivate other people to do. Like, if I'm gonna go work out,
Yeah.
it encourages you guys to work out too.
Oh, it's so good. Like, people need examples right now.
Yeah.
Right? They need people, like, they need examples. I mean, yeah, this fits into that leadership perfect. Like, it's like people need to see you practicing, practicing not only what you're preaching, but just that your own practices that are like health giving and life affirming and empowering, whether it's asana, yoga, or working out, or getting outside, eating well, thinking well, like, and doing the practices as an access to that better self, or that bigger self, your essential self. So people need examples right now of courage. People need kindness, and kindness when people aren't being so kind. Yeah. Like, Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see. Like, here's the opportunity to be it. Yeah, in the face of all of it, like all the things we're dealing with. But yeah, really good. Okay, what else? Another question?
Okay, Jackie asked, how to help others stay hopeful when it seems they have lost hope and are lost in fear. For some, I feel just at a loss for how to get through. I want to know how to get through the fear with them and into power, possibility, and ease. And Ashley asked, what can we do to feel like we are still being a contributor to our fellow humans and our society right now?
Yeah. The thing about others, like how to be with others, despair, in their panic, being like allowing for that, like you're granting them the gift of just being, however they are, who they are, without having to fix them, change them, any of that. And in that space and allowing people to be their you'll see in that space, room expands, space expands, and you'll see windows or like openings where you can access like possibility, affinity to, like you have a looking for that true north, we call it in Baptiste yoga. You have a looking and a listening for, but you're looking, because maybe the situation, they're in a reaction to it, and when people get stuck, they're reacting to their reaction, not reacting to what's actually happening in the world. I mean, there's the facts of what's happening, and then some people are reacting like in total despair. Is there a way to actually like let that be, and then you be a stand for the true north? Like keep pointing to a true north, but not forcing it. Something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. There were two questions there. What was the other one? You read two.
Well, yeah, the first one was, I want to know how to get through the fear with them and into power, possibility, and ease. And then the second one is, what can we do to feel like we are still being a contributor to our fellow humans and our society right now?
Yeah, there's so many ways to contribute, and you want to find the way for you. I mean, it could be, like Malachi said, starting with your own family, and then the people closest to you, your friends, your family, like how being a contribution to them may be just being like a profound listener and being there and allowing them to just vent and, like outflow. There's something about that. And, also encouraging people to get out, creating more opportunities to outflow, including for yourself. There's so much inflow. There's so much inflow of news. There's so much inflow of social media. There's so much inflow of just like the narrative out there. And what if you were to, like, I've made a commitment to, like, I have a lot of the noise and just checking in to get related to, what's happening in the world, but not like a constant inflow. Like one friend of mine was like, stop it. Like they're obsessing about the news. Like they're on the news all the time, but all that inflow, here's the opportunity to actually get for yourself to shift things through more outflow, and then be more controlling, like bring more discipline about what you're letting in. Meaning, make sure you're giving the inflow is good stuff. Like we've been watching good movies. I've been reading, doing some courses, some good, like books, whatever. Like now is the time to look at your journal. Is a great way to outflow for yourself, and then share what you've journaled with people in your life that have a listening for that.
I have a lot going on in my house, and I guess I'm looking for some tips on practicing at home. When my practice was about getting away for a few hours to clear it all and come back home.
Yeah, really good. What I get from that is two things. It lives in communication, I would say. So you've had your practice be about, part of your practice has been about like an opportunity to go just take care of yourself, give yourself some space, get away. And now don't have that freedom. But here's an opportunity to actually update your practice. Firstly, you could invite your people in your family, whoever your kids, partners, or like whoever you're with. You could FaceTime, people into your, make your practice about, like often I know people go to class, physical studio because of the communal environment, getting to be around awesome people and people that maybe are outside of their norm. But wow, what if you create the people in your life as that community? Like, and you're sharing in something that's pretty like, higher like goals and higher health and well-being, and just get the people in your life close to you, sharing with you. There's that. The other thing is, as far as like creating your own space, be in communication about it. It's like, I'll say that to you guys, like, look, I'm going to be working in here or doing like, I'm writing and I need just like, TV down or off, or if you're even doing that, but I'll communicate, and we all like get good with going into our own spaces, places. And if you've got little kids, go put them on something, a device or a book, trying to like focus, and we're going to do this for 30 minutes or whatever. And like, I'm here if you need me, and this is what we're doing, something like that. It's like creating what you want and what you need with your people in communication. But I like the idea of bringing people in, and then when they don't want to come in, because when you were little, I'd say you would practice with me sometimes, and then, but I know you didn't want to a lot of the time when you were small, right? So you want to come do yoga with me now? And you're like, no. I go, okay, well, I'm going to do it. If you don't want to do it, then what do you want to do? And then we create our own kind of areas, in the house or whatever. Yeah. Right. So that's one thing. Threaten them that you're doing yoga now. If they don't like it, I think having good people to talk to. When I say good people, let me just distinguish. I think, people that have a kind of listening, conversations that are going to be elevating for you. That kind of good people that, like have a kind of listening, and you could be sharing with certain people that people are going to be straight with you, honest with you, kind, and at the same time, you can be real with people, share, like, that's important. I'm writing a book, working on that. Like, what are some creative projects you've had in the background that you haven't been able to do, and all the busyness and all the doingness and all the noise? Like, now's the opportunity. What could you create that, wow, like some idea or some dream, and maybe you even had something like that in the background, but well, now from right here, now it's possible that, like that. Maybe you had some old dreams up on a shelf, dust them off, pull them out. When you see me, I'm like watching.
I love history.
Yeah, I'm always watching ancient Greeks, Romans, world wars, 1s, 2s, like talking. Like, I love history, ancient, ancient Asian history. That's me. Like, find a path. I mean, I learned so much from history, and you see how history and humanity repeats itself, like different forms of expressions of people, but similar substance. So
like setting an intention at the beginning of the day, like what you want to accomplish.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, often you'll just zone out into Netflix or.
Yeah, it's good. Like
now is
write
the time.
down what you want to get accomplished. Like have a clear intention and write down what you want to accomplish.
And now a lot of people have a lot more free time, and now is the time to do things that you wanted to do in the past.
Yeah,
you didn't have enough time to.
Like 3 things, maybe even it may be 3 things, 2 things in work, 2 things or 1 thing in physically, like hiking, moving, yoga practice, or for how long. Like 3 things I know that are maybe even out of the ordinary, or 3 things I know if I accomplish these 3 things, I'll go to bed. Yeah. Like this night, like feeling complete.
Asked, what do I do with all my emotions? I am overwhelmed, deeply saddened, afraid, grateful to be alive. Grateful for my family, scared to lose my child. Staying in quarantine makes me feel safe, and I feel it is a false and dangerous sense of safety.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
So what do I do with all my emotions?
Yeah, well, distinguish, firstly, like allow yourself the space just for your own humanity. Like, really allow yourself the room, the space for your own humanity to just be with all of those feelings, all of those experiences. And in that space, there's an opportunity, acknowledge what you're feeling there, whatever the sadness, hopelessness, get really well, what's right here, just acknowledge it. There's a power in acknowledging something. Acknowledging something lets it be how it is and how it isn't. Acknowledging something allows it to be complete, whole and complete in and of itself. And it actually begins to settle things, allows energy to move. And then distinguish what's born out of like a reaction. What are like the brain physiology, the body sensations, thoughts, emotions actually happening for you in your world. If you're dealing with economic loss, if you're dealing with the fear of potential economic loss or impact, if you're dealing with having to restructure your business, or you're an employee or you're an employer, and all the unknown or what's already happening, like getting present to what's happening, like really what's happening. I think people are really powerful when they're related. If I can see what's happening, I can look at the news at what's happening. Yeah, it's bad news. I have my kind of humanity react, like the automatic reaction, fear, what's going to happen to me, what's going to happen to the family, what's going to happen to us economically, actually happening. And there's a lot that I don't even know what's going to happen. And then how can I be with the unknown? In the 4th book, 40 Days to Personal Revolution, one of the laws is give up what you know. And I think what's known. And human beings typically don't do well in the unknown and with the unknown in the face of uncertainty. But there's an opportunity to discover that kind of self, that kind of leadership in ourselves, where we can stand in the face of uncertainty and have stability, maintain a stability, being like, I think is the Bhagavad Gita that says, stand in what is changeless amidst change. Like life's always changing. There's a place in us, like that still, small, quiet place of truth in ourselves, to have that, the truth. And the truth is you're going to make it through this. Truth is you're going to be okay. Truth is that could happen. And then even if all that happened, you're still going to be okay. Even if the worst happened, and so you're still going to be okay. Yeah. If I got corona and died somewhere in there, I'm going to be okay. My spirit, my essence, I'm going to be okay. That's not going to be the end of me. Yeah. Something like that.
It's like recognizing like it's like good to recognize everything that can happen and could happen and what's going on right now. But at least like for me, what I've noticed is like reacting to those emotions, and it doesn't really serve any other purpose other than negative. You can focus on the negative and let those emotions run your state of mind, but those emotions typically don't serve you in any way.
Yeah, they don't serve the higher, kind of bigger you, right? They serve a kind of negative possibility. Yeah, good.
And this pandemic is bringing it out again.
That's a good question. I think both. I think the fear that is probably collectively in the background, most people live from fear. Some kind of hurt, I could, lose what's important to me, could lose reputation, could lose, financially, could lose everything, could end up like there's fundamental fears, I think, that drive people. Fundamental fear of like, I'm not okay or something's wrong. People have that. And I think the people who really have like a lot of fear, they live for fear in the background. That's all out of circumstances that have just come up in the last couple of weeks with this whole pandemic. Suddenly the fear of like, again, economic, man, we're all going to get hit. If we're not already being hit, we're going to get hit with the economic virus that that's real fear for a lot of people. A lot of people aren't going to make it through financially. The fear about that is it's justified, and I think all of us, even with those fears that are totally valid and justified, take a deep look at, does that fear get you anywhere? If you're relating to it negatively or letting it own you, drive you. So, there's a way of good news about fears. There's ways to be with fear. You could play with fear. Yeah, you could have a listening for a fear. Oh yeah, okay, there's a fear. Let's like interact. This fear is an indicator that something's really changing. Something's getting really disrupted. Like before this pandemic, I always had this saying that, if it isn't scary, it isn't any good. Because what I know is like when things that are kind of scared, you're stepping out of the comfort zone, you're taking on new things that are bigger, and you don't know how to accomplish way outside of what my identity would allow for. My identity wants to know, and I think this situation, it's an opportunity to play with your fear, things you're scared of. You could, some new possibilities, like look at, like everything, like your business, your family life, your health, your well-being, like look at all of it newly from nothing, like blank canvas. It's like, what's the possibilities? Like here, this fear is an indicator, and really, it doesn't have to be a bad an indicator of something bad. Could use it as an indicator, wait, something is available here as well. Some people don't like this because you're not buying into the whole fear of this whole, and look, it's not to dismiss the terrible things that are happening in the world. And the question is how to take the practices that we engage with, asana, meditation, self-inquiry, yet known. Yeah. Okay, what else?
Okay, Lisa asked, with shifting timelines and changes in financial situations, how do I keep working toward the possibility that we're here for me?
We created in the past, even just a week ago, 2 weeks ago, may have completely been interrupted. Now I would bring them forward if they're things that are really important to you, things you really want to do. I bring those things forward, but I would now invent them from a future that's unknown. But like what do I mean by that? Like create the future from the future. Like we've got goals, maybe, in the beginning of the year, we had visions, we had, futures that we wanted to create. And you know, you could bring those forward. I and take a look at it. Some of it maybe now, like in this changing world, you look now and you're like, well, actually, I was doing these things, and they weren't actually what was driving me, or some other concern I had, or some place that seemed solid to stand on for myself in all of this. And as far as the future goes, is like if I envision, here's a meditation actually, be a good meditation to kind of for us to take on is like creating the future from the future. So in 5 years from now, if I was to envision who I am in 5 years from now, or 2 years from now, or 6 months from now, through this whole pandemic, through this whole experience of like everything being shut down, all the challenges, all the, you know, things I had to confront in myself, who was I being? You know, in 2 years, I'm sharing with you who I was being throughout this whole experience that we're going through. What was I doing? Who was I being? Who was I for the people in my life? What was I doing? Who was I being every time I failed? Every time I didn't get it right? Every time I, you know, overreacted? But then who was I being in the, who was I being to clean it up? To keep coming back to like my true north? I mean, that's a place to stand, like create the future of like just who you want to be. And that will allow you to then determine the forms you know, things you do or don't do. But right now, I think opportunity to clear on who will you be through this whole experience.
And new possibilities will be born out of this. Like, I was planning on teaching a couple yoga classes this like past couple weeks and weeks following, and that's what I want to do, and that was my intention. But now I have a whole new possibility of like, I may not be able to go out and teach yoga, but I can teach yoga to myself every day and teach it to you guys. And it may not be the end result that you wanted to have happen or wanted to be doing, but you can still practice and you can still like try to get.
Good, I love it. And I have an opportunity for you right here. So next Saturday, April 4th, I think is the date. You are going to teach you and I. How about we co-teach for the Baptiste Foundation?
Yeah,
a yoga class to do some fundraising and for first responders, and to do a Zoom class.
Yeah,
you down to co-teach that with me?
Yeah.
Why don't we do that? Okay, good. Damn, look at it. Dude's a yes. The answer to how is yes. Yeah.
Okay, Gretchen asked, how can I look, listen, and give tools on a Zoom screen or telephone line?
Yeah, just look, listen, really get the person in front of you, just really get them, get their world, get all, you know, they're dealing with, all that they, if you're leading a class, just see, like really look for, you know, they need to energize or activate their hands, their grit. They need to activate their feet, their hands, arms, legs, into their core. They, you know, you look and see, and then say what there is to say. You know, give tools. If it's something that you're coaching someone or you're with a friend, again, just really listen, look, and you'll be given a class, a Journey to Power yoga practice, or you're, listening or coaching people. Just really be with people. Just be with people. Put your own like opinions and judgments, or just your opinions and assessments on the shelf. Just really listen, be there with them, and then you'll be given what to say. Trust yourself.
Okay, and then the last question is from Carrie. She's asking, what do you think about this being a good time to let people go? True colors or fear?
Oh, let people go in your life. Yeah, I don't know the context to that question. You know, I mean, I think a few things. I mean, let certain things be. I mean, if you're talking about really toxic people that you've kept around in your life, people that aren't committed to kind of the growing edges you are, the pathways, like, then yeah, let those people go. It's like that. If it's a context, how you view those people, like look at what's in yourself that's getting triggered and you're in a reaction with that. Maybe you could be sick people who don't find they're just not like, sharing what you're up to. I think there's a natural updating of friendships. So that's a given. I think again, I don't have a clear answer for you on that, but I think it's always a matter of updating relationships. Sometimes it's letting people go, and sometimes it's a matter of just like updating how we relate to people, especially the people closer to us. Now, have you heard on the news, like somewhere, I don't know, it's on YouTube or something, they're talking about there's probably going to be more divorces and more babies out of this period of time, like a lot. But maybe just put like divorce on a shelf right now. That conversation, put it on a shelf and think, and who can you be right now for yourself and with that other person that's maybe new, like an opportunity to update. Starting with the people closest to you, and you can visit all that stuff later, but right now it's a time to actually be kind with people. I was thinking of the word human. What is it? Humankind? The term human. This is a time to bring that forward, is what I see as the opportunity. Okay.
Yeah, that's all the questions.
That's all of it?
Yeah.
Wow, how long have we been on here? This battery's got 6% left.
Yeah. About 50 something
that's
minutes.
Really good. Wow. Really good. Tammy Schneider, good to see you. Love to create the future from the future. It's so good. Jenny Ray Hart, even what we thought is the drift that must be disrupted. Yeah. Sylvia Maxwell, time to clean out our personal closet, start new. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Get things clear out every drawer, every closet. What an opportunity. I've started that. I've gotten through, what have we gotten through? Got through the whole kitchen pantry, gotten through the garage, one side of the garage, gotten through,
the whole room.
You got through your whole room, that's right. Rebuilt your bed and reorganized, so did Jake.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's huge.
Yeah. Next time to get to my clothing closet and separate out all my yoga. Yeah, that's a good one, Sylvia Maxwell. Shelly Butler, what an amazing positive outlook, Malachi. Good. Brandy Lee Keller, boom. Awesome. So good to be with you all. I wanted to just a couple of things here. I wanted to invite you to, we're all dealing with something that's so unknown, and we're all going to be tested. And that I just want to invite you to living. Your power is in the present moment for any of us. So again, in giving yourself space for your humanity, and keep looking for the opportunities, the possibilities that are looking for you. And, having the bigger, like I know I have a bigger thing in the background, and it's like one thing, it's a singular thing, just in this situation, is that I know I'm going to make it, we are going to make it through this. We're all going to make this to the other side powerfully.
Yeah. It's like, what are we going to be on the other side?
Yeah. And that's a steady for me. Like that's a steady, like a true north, like a singular, steady, stable datum point. Create that for you. Create something for yourself that's a steady that you can come back to, and at the same time allowing for all your humanity, but you keep coming to that thing that gives you what to do each day, who to be each day, especially in the moments when you forget. All right. Also, April 13th, I believe the date is, I'm leading a 40 Days of Personal Revolution. We'll be having weekly calls. There'll also be different affiliate Baptiste Affiliate Studios are going to be leading breakouts with their communities of practitioners. And the 40 days, man, what an opportunity, especially those of you who are feeling isolated or you're wanting something like just outside of your, everyday domain, a different kind of structure to give yourself a 40 days structure where for 40 days we'll be daily working on practices together, asana, meditations, personal development, inquiry, diet, like daily for 40 days working together. So a structure that allows you to fulfill on who you want to be on the other side of all this. And also, especially again, those of you who are feeling more isolated and looking for ways to get connected out here to others, check out the baptisteyoga.com/40 days to personal revolution. Yeah, on the Baptiste Yoga website. Love to have you. And then encourage your local affiliate studio to join us and co-lead it with me and as you participate as well. Would love that. And also, again, class with the Baptiste Foundation is doing a class next Saturday. So that it, yeah, April 4th, I believe. You could look at the baptistefoundation.org website and Malachi and I will be leading a class. Yes, you are. Yes, you will. And we'll be leading a class next week, so check that out, baptistefoundation.org. That's it. Thank you. I love you all. Be well. You're going to make it through this, and you're going to, given who you are and what you're up to, I look forward to going through the journey with you, and on the other side, all of us coming out expanded and more powerful. And I just want you to know, I also, I have a real just appreciation of the humanity of what you're all going through and what we're all going through. And lots of love to you. Thanks, Malka.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say?
Different way that you haven't been able to before, and set the intention that, because you will be on the other side of this at some point, and setting the intention to be stronger on that other side, I think is
So good.
the most important thing.
Good stuff. Awesome.
Yeah. All right.
Be well.
Peace. Oh yeah, and
How about that one?
okay. All right. I think